Today I'm going to do a little beginner Dreamweaver tutorial here. So all you know-it-alls in Dreamweaver world, this is just all very much a beginner for someone who's never used Dreamweaver before. And I'm using a website that I've done for my sister-in-law and brother-in-law called Eagle Bass Club as a sort of a tutorial jumping off point here. So I'm going to first of all start Dreamweaver. Now I'm using CS6. Almost everything I show here will work for CS5 as well. So I'm opening up Dreamweaver CS6. Okay, probably before I even show you how to do anything with Dreamweaver, I'm going to minimize for a minute. Let's say I've never worked on this website before, and let's do this. Let's go to our My Documents or on your Mac, wherever you're going to keep a folder, and let's make an Eagle Bass Club folder. So for me, I'm going to go to Start, and I'm going to go to Documents since I'm on a PC. And I've already got an Eagle Bass Club that says Dean's site, but I'm going to go ahead and do another one. Let's just do this just to show you how we could do this. Let's just make a new directory, new folder, and we're going to call it Eagle Bass Club. Okay, so I've got a folder called Eagle Bass Club. And that's what you want to do. Just put your directory somewhere, and I've got it. I can see it right here. Here's the one that I've been working with. But let's just do this like we're starting fresh again. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull my website down for a minute. I'm going to go back to Dreamweaver, and I'm going to say Site. You're going to go up here to the top where you've got Dreamweaver open. Before you've done anything else, you can just go to Site and say New Site. Right there, it's the first one. It comes down. And it's going to say name, and so what I would do, I would say Eagle Bass Club. And this really doesn't matter what you call it. You can call it anything you want to, but this makes sense to call it Eagle Bass Club. Okay, and then you're going to tell it where to go. And the reason I made that folder first is you need to have somewhere to tell it to go before you set up. So I'm going to go to Browse to Folder, and I'm going to browse over to where I made the Eagle Bass Club, and right there it is. I'm going to choose that and say Open. I'm Select. So I'm selecting that folder for the website. And so now I've got a site called Eagle Bass Club. It's going into the Eagle Bass Club folder, but now I have to tell it where the server is. So you see you've got site that comes up first here. You're going to click on servers. And let's do a new server. What happens, this comes up and it's blank, but you're going to click on the little plus here to add a new server. So let's call this, once again, doesn't matter what you call it, but it makes sense to call it Eagle Bass Club. Now here is where you put in the FTP information which you have sent me, and I'll probably black this out on the screen so people don't see what this is going to be. It's not going to be any secret that this is going to be FTP. FTP, I'm putting it in this hole right here where it says FTP address, .eaglebassclub.com. And port 21 is what you pretty much always leave here. So we're going to put your username in here that you sent. And we're going to put your password in that you've sent. Okay. So now I've entered in ftp.eaglebassclub.com. I've put the username in here, and I've put the password in this hole. Your root directory, and it can be different things on different servers. So what you'll want to do is check with your service provider, whoever it is that hosts your site. Usually it's just going to be a /. So I'm going to put a / in here, and now I'm going to test this. I'm going to hit this little test button and see if I've got this thing set up right or not. And it says Dreamweaver connected to your web server successfully. Outstanding. So I'm going to hit OK. That's good to know. Now I can hit the save button, and I can hit the save button again down here. And what I've got a site set up, and I've got I'm telling I've got my FTP set up correctly, so I can hit save. Now what happened when I hit save, I had another website open there, but now suddenly I am looking at over here in this bottom part down here, I'm looking at the local, I'm looking inside that local directory called Eagle Bass Club that you made. So this is on your computer right now, and you can see there's not a darn thing in it. Now what's cool is over here to the right, you see it says local view. If you click this little down arrow, you can see the remote server. You can see where all your files are right now and what's out there. So I'm going to click on that. It's going to take us a little bit of time to build that. But now what you're looking at is everything that is out there already for your website. So what I would like to do is I don't want to work on these files that are out there live and start messing them up. I'm going to copy everything that's on here. I'm going to click, so this is your root directory that's highlighted. So I'm going to click everything else. From there, I'm going to hold my shift key down all the way to here. So I've got it all selected that's inside that folder. And I'm going to copy that or download that into my working folder, which is on the hard drive. So it's that little arrow that points down right here. That is my download arrow, actually it's called get files, my get files. So I'm going to get all those files and put them on my hard drive. So in case I screw something up, I can go back and fix it. The root files and all these files are still out there on the main server unedited, and I can mess anything up I want to on my hard drive before I upload it. Hopefully I won't mess it up. Hopefully I'll make it better. So I'm going to click download, and you can see what's happening. It's preparing to download. It's going to download every single file, all the HTML, all the photos, anything that you've got, all your CGI programming, cascading style sheets, all that, your JavaScript stuff. And so it's all going down right now. So you'll want to do this before you edit anything. So really this is pretty simple at this point. All it is you create a folder that's going to be your site. You set up your FTP access, then you download everything. So it's going to take a little while. I'll hush here and come back to you when everything is finished. This is still on remote server. Now I want to look and see what's on my hard drive. So I click the little down arrow and I go back to the local view and look. Now I've got a complete copy of the entire website on my hard drive. Now we're ready to do some editing. And let's just do a little sample here. Let's say we want to go to the index page. And the index, you'll see here I've got like index 2. That's where I was doing some experimental stuff. The index, make sure you're on local view again. That is always your home page. Home page is not called home. Sometimes on a server it is. Usually it's called index.html. So I could either double click on this. Typically, just to be safe, I go up here to File and I say Open. And I type in, when it comes up right here, you can type in, start typing in index, IND, and look there, it brings up the 2 files I have indexed. I'll click on that and say Open. And now all of a sudden you're looking at a HTML version of your web page. And what you see here is all the text. And look, it's just as easy as if you want to type a word here. Eagle Bass Club was founded in 1994. I could say, parentheses, 19 years ago. Now, I don't have to keep that there, but if I wanted to put that live on there, all I have to do is say now File, Save. And that 19 years ago is going to be on there. I'll go here to index.html. Another way I like to do it is any pages I've been working on, you click this little modified here, and it'll bring the last modified page to the top. And so what that does, let's say I've worked on 3 pages or 4 pages, and so now it'll pull all those pages to the top, and I'll know what to do to upload. So right now I'm on local view. I click on that. I'm going to upload that. And it says transfer successful. Let's go to the web and look at it. So right now I'm looking at what's live on the web, except I have not refreshed my screen yet. So I'm going to click refresh and look at this. Now on the web right now it says Eagle Bass Club was founded in 1994, 19 years ago, and it's based in Pembroke, North Carolina. So there. I just changed that, and that's how easy it is to change these. So if you want to change text, let's go ahead and take the 19 years ago out, because that's crazy to have that in there. I just wanted to give you an example of how that works. I'll hit Control S to save, or I guess it would be Command S on the Mac, or you could just go up here and hit File and Save. So I've already saved, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do my index and re-upload that. So once again, I put the little up arrow. That's going to upload. I'll go back to the web again. I'll do a refresh or Control F5 on the PC, and you'll see it's gone. Now, I've put you in the past some JavaScript little stuff up here at the top. There are really no pull downs on it. Those just go to specific pages. You're probably, when you open this up, you're not going to see that unless you click on the little live up here at the top. See this little live beside design? One thing that should be said, if you bring this up and it looks weird, it might come up in code mode. That is really the code. That's for people that are sort of expert level. You don't have to be expert level, but that's really what your web page is all these different commands and styles and stuff like that I've set up previously. But I'm going to go back to design. That's where you're going to mostly want to go in and edit. If you click on live, then it brings up a live view of what you're going to see. And it's not showing all the little GIFs and things, little rollovers that I've made there, but at least it shows you what is there and it shows you the spacing. Before you can edit again, you have to get out of live, so you always click off the live and you can get back in and start editing. Now, let's say you want to change this picture out. You don't like this picture that's on the front here of Mark Cummings. Well, you can click on that and you can delete the picture. One thing I would do though, I would look at the dimensions on the picture I've got. You can see here down at the bottom, when you click on something, it gives you all this information about what you're seeing. So you can see that this picture is 340 by 266, but you could see that probably pretty easily you could get almost 400 pixels into this hole here if you wanted to go wide. Maybe 380 would be a good safe. It could be however tall you want it to be, because all that will do is just shift everything down if you make it taller than that. But still, a good guideline if you want to replace that picture is to go into your Photoshop and create the photo at this size. As a matter of fact, let's just do this. So I've got a picture that is 340 by 266 right now. Let's go find a fishing picture and switch it out. I'm going to click on Photoshop down here at the bottom. Again, I'm using the CS6 version of Photoshop. Okay, so I just went into your web to a folder you'd given me before, and this is like some fish thing that was on the site before, maybe on there in other places too. And it is a pixel image, and if I go up here under image size, I can see that that picture is 777 pixels wide, and we know from our thing over here that we want to be about 340, 360 would be okay, 380 even maybe. So I'm going to take that down to, let's say 380 if I wanted to put that in there. And I don't know if I need all that white actually around there, but I guess it won't hurt. We could crop it a little. Let's crop it back a little. Okay. So now I've got a pixel image that I can put in there. And if you've not done Save for Web before, you go up under File. Now we're in Photoshop. And go down and you do Save for Web. And this does a really great job, particularly with continuous tone images. And this is an image with a background. It's got white. If you didn't want a background behind it, want it to be all transparent, you'd have to, of course, select and erase the background. If you want to save as a PNG, but it's coming up as a JPEG initially, and JPEG is what you'll want to use for all continuous tone. A lot of times, if it's a logo, it has just a couple colors, I'll use a GIF, a GIF. But we've got a JPEG here. We can see at the bottom it's only going to be 26K, so it's going to download really fast. So I'm going to say Save. And we're going to put that into Libraries. We're going to put that into the Eagle Bass Club. And we're going to put this, so we're just going to call this Test Bass. Test Bass. JPEG. And it's going to go in here. We're just going to do this for playing around sake. I'm going to hit Save. So now Test Bass is in there. I'm going to close this and tell it not to save it. Now I'm going to minimize this for a minute. So if I wanted to get rid of this picture of Mark and put that bass in there, then I could very easily click on the image. I could go down here and see where it says here's what we're searching for, here's what we're going to get. So I'm going to click the little browse file beside it, and I'm going to and what I can do if it comes up and it's just too small, you can't see anything, grab this little corner and pull down, or you could just type in test, and Test Bass is going to come up. Of course, you could, if you wanted to, pull it down till you see Test Bass. There it is too, and you can select it either way and hit OK. So now Test Bass is in there. And if we wanted to upload, if we wanted to save this and upload this, then this would go live. You can just upload the page again, upload the image. Most of the time, if you upload the page, it's going to send the image with it. It'll send a little message to say, do you want to send dependent files? and you'll want to tell it yes. So right now you see over here it's added test bass. It just kind of popped up over here in your little local window. And we've got index, and I can save indexes, do file, save, and up it would go. But let's look a little bit. Let's say you wanted to add a whole new section of text, and maybe you've got it in Word or something and you want to bring it in. A lot of times it might not come in with the right, what we call style. And one of the things I've done here is I set up some cascading style sheets. Now that term sort of intimidates a lot of people the first time they hear a cascading style sheet, CSS. All it is it's styles. Now it can get very complex, but really it's pretty simple. So what I've done, I have set up a style here, and if you roll over any of this or select any of these texts, you can see what the styles are. I've got a style. You look under class, and the class is the style, and I've got a class that's called main body. Now if you go up here at the top, there's a thing called CSS Styles. You see this up here? If not, then you can go to Window and you can go down and tell it to come open. You see where it says CSS Styles there? Or Shift F11, either one. But it'll probably come up that way. You click on that, and you should, I've got this thing here that's kind of in the way. I'm going to pull this down. All right. If yours comes up with this Business Catalyst thing on it, just minimize that thing, get out of the way. I'm going to close it. And I'm going to pull this down so I can see my style a little better. That was just aggravating. It kept me from seeing it. So you see I've only created a few styles. I've got the main body style, which is what you're seeing here. See main body right there? And I've also got navigation, which is going to be, I guess, where I've got navigation on other pages. I've got main page header style and right bar style that I'm using for that. So let's say that you bring some text in from another program. Let's pull something in and see. Okay, I've just opened up your schedule page, and you've got nothing really on that. But let's say I wanted to bring something on to this schedule page. Now right now you'll notice if I got where this coming soon is here, I've actually got that style down here at the bottom. You see that? That is styled as an unordered list, or basically, in other words, you might call it bullet points. If you wanted to take that off, you could take that off. And you got the coming soon here, which is still the main body style. But let's put something under here. Let's put this some text that I've grabbed out of another folder. And right there I just pasted it in. Now let's say you've got some reason you'd like for that to look different than what it looks. Right now it's coming in as main body style. But you'd like for it to look a little different or something, or be a different font. I typically kind of like to use these sans serif fonts on websites. They're easy to read. But let's just do a little simple, quick check into doing a style. So if you wanted to make a different look to apply to this text, you go over here. This is all, once again, your CSS styles. And I've closed some stuff up, and I've opened it up where I can see this really well. I'm going to click this little new CSS style rule. See that little thing right there? I'm going to click on that. And it automatically comes up with the one I set up before. I'm going to call it something else. You always start a style with a dot. Just remember, put a dot first. And I'm going to call this new test style. And I'm putting little dashes in between. It's a lot neater, and it's easier to work with it that way. Just make yourself a rule of either putting dashes or underscores between your words. So I can either choose for it to go in this document only down here, or into a style sheet, which I've already got. And I've got one called Eagle Style Sheet.css, and you'll see that. I would apply it to that, because what happens if you apply it to this document only, you'll be able to set this style up for every page. If you put it on a style sheet, which I've already got saved, that style sheet saves the styles for every other page over there. So let's say you decide you want to use your new style called New Test Style on 5 or 6 pages. You could save it to the style sheet instead of this document only, and you've got a style that you can use throughout your website. So I'm going to say, put it on that. I'm going to say OK. Now it's going to save this style, or it's going to bring up a little dialog window here that asks you what you want. Now you can change this later, but you can go here and you can pick from different font styles. Let's say we wanted to make this thing Tahoma Geneva Sans Serif. I'm going to do that. And let's say we want this thing to be a big old whopping 18-point font. So I'm going to pick that, or 18 pixels, not points. So it's going to stand 18 pixels tall. Now it's not doing anything up here yet, because I've not applied it to anything. Let's say I want the font to be bold. So I'm going to pick bold. And let's say that maybe I want the line height to be in pixels, I don't know, 24 pixels or something. What that means, it's like leading if you're doing a InDesign file or something. That's the amount of space that goes in between the lines, right? So I'm going to set this for maybe 24 pixels. And I'm going to say, OK. So now this text that I've brought in here, I can go here and I'm going to highlight it. I can go down to here and I can pick New Test Style. Well, see what I went to? I went to the little class, which is your styles, and pick New Test Style. And look at that. Now I've got this big style, this big and horsey looking font. And it doesn't look good at all, does it? But there you go. I've just created a style that could be used anywhere in the whole website. Now, the thing that's cool about this is, say that in the future you don't want this style, and what you can do, you want that style to be different throughout your whole website. You want to change that style. All you got to do is go back over here, see where it put New Test Style in here under the Eagle Style Sheet CSS. You double click on it. You might decide you don't want it bold, so you make it normal. And you probably don't want it, maybe you want 14 points. Then you can hit apply and you can see how it's going to look. Wow, 25 pixel line might be too much. Let's say 20 and hit apply, and there you go. Hit OK. Now, the other thing that I didn't show you here is also in these styles you can do all kinds of different things. Now, one of the most useful ones is box here. See box? You double or you click on that, and you can tell it how much to indent. See how Eagle Style Sheet up here? I probably got this to be 10 pixels here. I might want these to come in 10 pixels as well. So what I'm going to do, I've got my little margin over here. I'm going to click off this same for all, turn that off. I'm going to make my left 10 pixels. And I'm going to say apply and see what happens. And look what happened. It just pulled all that in. So that new style now has a left margin of 10 pixels. Now I could make it where the right margin was 10 pixels or whatever as well. There's just all kinds of stuff you can do here. You can put backgrounds behind things. You can change colors. Most of the time when you're doing type though, or pictures even, you can apply these styles to a picture. You're just going to use either your type or your box to do some alignment things. I'm going to say OK. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to close this without saving it. No. I don't want to save the style sheet either, so I'll say no. So I'm going to open that same page back up. Let's open recent. Let's open that schedule back again. Once again, let's say you want to save these pictures and you want to change those. All you have to do is click on the picture, see roughly how big it is. Like 415 pixels works great. I would recommend you switch your pictures out that way. All you got to do is, again, save for web, then navigate to where they are. Now, if you want to make this thing more search engine happy, where people can find pictures of people and stuff, you could click on a picture like this and see I've got that says Alan Collins. It's not really what that is. We click on that and you give these a name here. And these little things here, these pictures can help with your search engine optimization. Okay, that one's not being changed, but all you do is type in it and say guy with bass. Of course, the best thing to do would be put the guy's name in it and say like a bass winner or bass tournament winner or so-and-so and whatever, and there you go. So that's really a quick little tutorial on how you do it. It's very easy. I think, it's particularly when it's set up by somebody initially. You've already got styles set up, and you can click on it. Anything you want to change, any style, you can click here and see the ones that I've got, and you can see how I've used them, like page title headers here. If you click on this one up here, you'll probably see that I used page title headers. So you can see how these styles are used throughout. Just kind of play around with it and see. Let's go back to the index page. We don't want this Bassmasters here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go back and I'm going to change everything that I've changed to like, say we want to start over again and you're just not happy with this page at all. You just go back over here to the remote server and you can replace those pages that we messed up here, like index. I know that was one. I'm going to bring that one back down. I'll say yes to all. And there you see we got right back to our regular page that we had before. I'll just re-get all the files to make sure that I haven't screwed something up. So really that's it for Dreamweaver. When you're through with it, you just close everything up. The next time you open Dreamweaver, it'll all open back up with your same remote server and your same testing folder or local folder, and you'll be able to go in here and make any edits that you need to make. And feel free to call and ask me if you have any questions.